Okay, now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. This segment is on purposes for social interaction. I'm trying to break down social interaction for you so that it makes more sense. This is currently what I've got. I think that almost all social interactions fit under one of these categories. The purpose might be connection. And connection is a word that means a pleasurable feeling of camaraderie or other closeness. And great examples of connection are like friendship or romance. Or even if, let's say you go to a video game convention and you find somebody else who likes your favorite game and you talk about it, the strategy of it, whatever, for an hour. That's connection. You know, or if you find somebody who loves cooking and you cook something together and you're just like, man, this is so great. Like, we're cooking together and I love cooking. That's connection. That's when you feel a sense of great pleasure from interacting with another person, you know, either verbally or through doing a common activity or whatever. Networking. So this is primarily something you see in business. Furthering of goals. Business or, you know, school, other kinds of like goal-furthering enterprises. So when you are talking, when you're calling your boss's friend because your boss told you that they know somebody who is working in the field that you're interested in working in, that's networking. When you go to business conferences and you meet other people in your field, that's networking. When you go have lunch with business associates, you know, sometimes that's connection, but most of the time it's networking. So networking is when you are interacting with somebody else and the purpose of it is to provide you some benefit. Or if you're providing them some benefit, like they're networking with you, and the ultimate goal often is for you to then later be able to get some benefit out of them. You know, so I guess there's two sides. There's the networkee and the networked person. The networkee is looking for some benefit or is building relationships so that in the future benefit will follow when it is necessary. And the networked person is either, you know, is usually getting something out of it. So they're either building relationships for future benefit, or they're actively getting some other kind of non-networking benefit out of it. Or sometimes they just want to help people too. Relational establishment. So this is when the purpose of the social interaction is to establish dominance, usually. So a great example would be bullying or intimidation is a relational establishment. I'm establishing that I have more power than you and that you are submissive to me. Or another relational establishment is when a man puts his arm around a woman or vice versa. That is often a social signal to the surrounding people that we are romantically involved. There may be more so. There's not as many easy examples of relational establishment because they're more of a primal thing. They're usually less verbal. But even a lot of kinds of language can be relational establishment. You know, my mom was really into feminism, and so I grew up learning that you shouldn't call a woman darling because it's patriarchal. It's putting her in this diminutive, subservient category with your language. So, and you should know that a lot of these can be mixed. You know, you can have a lot of happen times in networking, right? In networking, you're meeting with a business associate and they talk down to you. It's a relational establishment. If you feel talked down to, it's relational establishment. A lot of social interactions are informational. You know, if you talk to your mom and you're like, oh, you know, how's my brother doing? How's my dad doing? You know, you're just asking for information. And it might also be connection, right? You're spending time with your mom, but you might also genuinely want to know, you know, oh, my aunt's sick. How is she doing? So you're asking for information. Or, you know, you call your mom and say, hey, how do I have a baby? You might say, like, what's the best way to bathe my baby? You know, oh, she fell. What should I do? She cut herself. What should I use on her? Whatever. There's informational, social interactions. There's a lot of those. Then there's one that's for entertainment. And I think there's kind of a fine distinction between entertainment and connection. Connection is when you are really pleased and feel really good about the social interaction that you're having. Whereas for entertainment, I think of as like, if you're bored and you want something to do and somebody else is there to talk to, a lot of people enjoy talking for entertainment. So I think of like a bus stop companion or a grocery line, like if you're talking to a stranger in a grocery line. Those are more for entertainment. They could also be connection, but it might not be connection. It might just be entertainment. And then the last category for now is functional social relationships. This is often with people who are in service industries. For example, a cashier or a clerk at, at like a deli or something. If you are interacting with somebody because they need you need them to do something for you, that's functional. And it's not networking, because you're not like trying to get the clerk better so that they'll give you a discount on your sandwiches in the future. Well, you might, but usually you're just like, hey, I need a roast beef sandwich, can you please get it for me and charge me the appropriate amount of money? That's a functional social interaction.